In the digital age, our personal data is the most valuable commodity of all. Yet, it's also the most vulnerable. With each click, swipe, and share, we all leave behind a digital footprint that holds a wealth of our personal information. Be it from targeted ads to data breaches, from social media profiles to our financial transactions, everything is quietly watched and recorded. Now the question remains, who truly controls and owns our data? Will we continue to surrender our privacy for the sake of convenience, or will we rise to reclaim our digital autonomy? Imagine this. You're surfing the web, hopping from site to site, checking out e-commerce stores, scrolling through social media feeds, and doing all the things that you do online. Every click, every like, every purchase you make is quietly being watched and recorded by large advertising companies like the Google ads and the Facebook ads. These large companies have super smart computer programs that crunch all the data that they collect about you. They put together detailed profiles of what you like, what you're interested in, and how you behave online. They also know things like your age, where you live, and how you operate. Now, armed with all this information, advertisers will send you ads that are tailor-made just for you. It's like they can read your mind and show you things you likely want. Sounds helpful, right? But here's the catch. These advertisements are not about just selling stuff. They are influencing the information we see and are also swaying our opinions. We are all being nudged and guided by the ads we see online. Our digital identities are being shaped without us even realizing it. Sure, it will definitely make our online experience better, but not at the cost of losing our privacy. So remember, the next time you're browsing the web, your clicks and likes are more than just signals to the websites you visit. They are the building blocks of a digital world that's learning to understand and influence you in ways that you might not notice or want. I'll show you a quick demographic. Here, you will see how much each of these companies make out of each click of yours. And if you also notice, it is more than 80 to 90% of their annual revenue. So when you are looking at me here, checking out my profile on Instagram, Meta and Facebook are making money there, right? So I've had numerous discussions about these issues in Web 2.0. And before I move forward, let me tell you that this is Web 2.0, the internet we are currently experiencing. Although this internet offers unparalleled connectivity and convenience, it also raises profound questions about the ethics of data collection and the extent of corporate influence in our digital lives. So like I said, I've never gotten clear answers or solutions to all my questions and these gaps in Web 2.0. However, it wasn't until I enrolled in a cryptography course in the second year of college that led a pathway to the world of Web 3.0 and decentralization. And believe me, from there, my world, my exposure gotten a lot more. I was able to understand how my data was being used and how I could protect it. Now think of this. What if these social media platforms and e-commerce sites could provide you with personalized recommendations without essentially accessing your data? What if you could have control over your data and decide how you want to share and manage it? That is exactly what Web 3.0 does for you. This new internet promises a decentralized, user-centric online experience that will shift power away from big tech to individual users, from access to ownership by something called as the blockchain technology. This blockchain technology, tracks details across a distributed ledger and a network of computers by maintaining immutability, transparency, and trust with no single party having control over your data. So for sure, your data is safe. And the next question comes, if we are having our data, how would I enable and experience all the convenience and the personalized experience I have on a Web 2 platform, right? And that could be achieved by something called as the zero knowledge proofs. So what are zero knowledge proofs? So let's say you want to avail maybe a certain premium feature of a shopping application, and the app would like to verify your eligibility for it. So it essentially wants to know if you've done the premium feature subscription by doing all the payments and have an account on their platform. But as a user, you do not want to share that information with the app, but still tell the app that, hey, I am eligible for this. That sounds fascinating, right? How do you think a random application without knowing your details would not collect your data and still make and understand what you essentially want and trust you? That's what zero knowledge brings on table. Zero knowledge proofs begins with you committing to a statement without revealing its specifics. This statement could be regarding any piece of content or information, be it your images, likes, comments, or even personal preferences or profile data for that matter. Now, let's say here it is like, I would like to avail these certain premium features of your app, and I have done the subscription for it. Now, the app will act as a verifier and it will issue a challenge for you. This challenge will be a random number which will add unpredictability to this entire interaction. Now, as a response to this challenge, you will generate a convincing proof of this statement's truthfulness without disclosing unnecessary information. Wondering how that will work? That will work by few techniques called hashing or encryption, which will use your committed statement, your secret information that could be your personal data or transaction details, and the challenge the app has given to you. Now, after you've done this entire hashing and encryption process, the app will scrutinize your response through some cryptographic functions, and these would depend on the chains these blockchain networks are working on. If your original statement is true and the app verifies it, it concludes that whatever you have said works well, and if you notice that throughout this process, your personal information has never gone to the app, but it has still verified that you can avail those features. And the next question comes, if this is the case, how do we scale this solution on a larger platform? Because we all know that for every single minute, we use thousands of clicks or even swaps just as a form of operations and transactions. So this could be done by something called as the roll-ups. Roll-ups are scalability solutions on blockchain networks, primarily or mostly on the zero knowledge proofs. They work by rolling up multiple transactions into a single compressed transaction, and instead of posting all these transactions at once on the chain, they are executed off the chain and are periodically put across only the valid batches. So this will reduce the overall load on the blockchain and will also improve scalability. This solution is still in its nascent stages. However, every emerging technology encounters its own set of barriers and so does the zero knowledge proofs. This new tech might not be as affordable or quick as standalone chains, since they rely on the limitations of a base layer which could be pricey. Additionally, using these roll-ups could fragment the flow of funds and also pose challenges for seamless integration across different platforms. And despite of not directly utilizing vast amounts of energy for mining, these zero knowledge proof generation could be computationally demanding and would require specialized hardware that would consume more power as compared to traditional computing. Some interesting use cases or applications in the real world for zero knowledge could be on the lines of identity verification for digital voting, where users can keep their identities private, but voting remains trustworthy. This not only makes the democracy stronger by getting more people to vote and trust the system, but also creates new ways to make governance secure and transparent. And of course, our social media platforms where enormous amount of content is being shared. And decentralized shopping applications, I personally believe, would revolutionize the way we shop online, because that will give the users the power to manage their purchase histories, payment details, or also personal preferences very securely. Zero knowledge proofs, Web3, and the roll-ups are still in its nascent stage and are under development. But I strongly believe that they have the potential to change the way we interact online and also build a future that is stronger, and we don't have to constantly worry about being watched by these large companies. To begin with, let's all talk more about it, learn more about how we can protect our digital identities, and be mindful to keep the future of the internet, the future of our lives, in our hands. Together, let's all build an empowering, transparent, secure, and private online experience for everyone. Thank you.